Welcome back to VL Speaks with You. I am Virna Lisa. This is episode 11, and we are in the merry month of May, the mid-year. A great time to do a reset. So, checking in with ourselves mentally, physically, energetically, right? What is going on? What has happened thus far? What kind of commitments did you make at the beginning of the year to yourself? How far have you come? Do you need to tweak it? Do you need to recommit to them or change things up? This is the perfect time of year to do that. Aside from what are you going to look like in your bathing suit on the beach? Because we had a couple of days where you could be out there and you looked at yourself probably and went, either you said, I'm on track, or I need to do better. Could have said either thing. I said I need to do better. Want better for yourself. So how do we go about doing this? How do we go about reassessing where you are and where you want to be? Writing things down is a great way to start. Journaling. I know, I'm beating the drum of this journal because it's so important. Why? Because it's your conversation with yourself. And who better to do that but you? So, reassessing also takes some inquiry. You got to ask yourself some honest questions. And writing down these questions and then answering them is a great way of committing and also gaining some perspective and perhaps some new insight on things that you weren't really paying attention to. That's one of the reasons why writing things down and then writing down what you're going to do about it. Or writing down, great, on track, keep going. So what kind of questions do you want to ask yourself? Start with the basic fundamentals of your lifestyle, which is, am I getting enough rest? Do you get enough rest? Are you falling asleep at the same time every night and finding yourself either well rested when you wake up or exhausted? That is important to ask yourself. You may not sleep a lot, but you're getting good sleep. Or you may be staying in bed a long time and feeling awful when you wake up. This sets the tone for the rest of the day. I mean, that's just the truth. Next thing is, did you make any promises to yourself about changing your habits on eating? You may have said, want to lose a few pounds, but did you write, this is how I'm going to do it? One of the ways is, what are you eating? What time are you eating? How often are you eating? You don't need to necessarily track your calories. For some people, that may be a little dangerous because they can get really OCD. For some people, it requires that. It makes them responsible to themselves, accountable for what they're doing. And that's essentially what this is. This assessment is you being accountable to yourself for the things that you say that you want for yourself and for your lifestyle. Also, how you're using your time. What are you spending your time doing on your devices, aside from work? But how long do you spend on your devices? Who are you spending your time with? What are you doing? Is it constructive? Do you walk away going, wow, this really was uplifting? Not just in the moment, but this was uplifting. Like this is just something that's going to carry me a little bit. Makes me feel better. Not just with a quick dopamine fix or an adrenaline fix, but actually you are nurtured by the experience, right? Which clues you into your senses. How well are you at moderating those things? How much you take in through your eyes, through your ears, what you're ingesting. It could be other things. I mean, if you're not great at moderating your senses, you might have something going on with, let's say, drugs or just way too much of things that are indulgent. You may need help, and that's a good thing to admit to yourself. It could be the help of a therapist. You may need to see a doctor, a specialist. Taking accountability for these things in your life, they may not seem like a big deal, but as you mature, things tend to snowball very quickly out of control. especially after 40 and 50. You start realizing you are not invincible, and the things that you were doing to yourself, possibly in your teens and 20s and 30s, no longer work for you. So if you are in your teens and your 20s and 30s, know that all of the habits that you've really started to ingrain into your lifestyle, it's going to carry you into your older years. And so taking stock of all of those things now is important, and it can be done at any time. Today is a new day. This is a new opportunity. Because the older that you get, it does become more challenging to make changes because the mind gets very fixed, especially the subconscious. So this goes also for, like, are you reading books? What kind of books are you reading? Are these books uplifting? Even if it's a novel or nonfiction, do you feel uplifted? Like, wow, this story really made me think about things that I'm going to do differently in my life, or just made me more thankful. Do you have those experiences with movies that you watch and with the people that you spend time with? So these are all seemingly simple questions, maybe not, but they're definitely thought-provoking. And the idea here is to get yourself either recommitting or letting go of things. Behavioral modifications take time, and you need to be patient and kind with yourself in the process because things are probably not going to happen overnight. It takes consistency and commitment and discipline, right? And focus and clarity about what it is that you want. But be kind with yourself about it and be thankful for whatever is working for you in the moment. It could be anything as small as caught the sunrise this morning, the car turned on, got a great parking space, have wonderful relationships with the people that I work with. Think about those things that matter to you, and they could be the smallest to the greatest, but be grateful for whatever's working now, and that you have the discipline and the willingness to be the architect of your own destiny, because it's on you, right? You can't blame anything about what you're doing on anyone else after a certain point in your life. You have to be accountable. So having this type of self-inquiry, this conversation with you on paper makes it more real because you can go back and read it in 6 months and go, hey, listen, I wrote this 6 months ago, and this is where you're at now. It's a marker for you, which is great. Another question that you can ask yourself is, what is it that I want to change? Really change integrally to yourself. Only you know the answer to that question, right? But taking the time to ask these different questions and then circling back in a bit, maybe at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, or at your birthday if it hasn't come up yet. Birthdays are also a good time to reassess what's happened because that's your year. That's your personal year. None of what I'm saying is new. A lot of this is ancient wisdom brought to you with a modern twist. But it is essential that we all, every single one of us, integrate the relationship between the mind and the body. And to gain clarity and to find a path that suits each person. Swami Rama said once, a confused mind is not fit to follow any path. So getting clarity about what it is that you want for yourself and believing in yourself and being kind to yourself is going to help you get to where you want to be. And maybe you're not sure about where you want to be, but you are sure that you want to be healthier, that you want to be happier, that you want to feel fulfilled, that you want to feel that there's some kind of purpose in your life. So if you don't know exactly what the path is at this point, that is okay. You don't know what that end point is for you, and it changes all the time because once you've achieved that, then you keep going on to the next thing, right? So maybe you don't know, and that's okay. But what you do know are those basics. You want to live well, you want to feel well, and you want to be happier and feel fulfilled. Getting down the basics are going to help you come to the point, or it may even be brought to you, where you find like, this is my purpose in life, or one of the purposes in life that you may be here to fulfill. You know? And also surround yourself with people that believe in you, that are your cheerleaders, not just when you're doing well. They're going to let you know when you're not doing great. Those are the kind of friends that you want to have around, that cheer for you and that want to uplift you and help you. Be thankful for those types of people in your life. It could be a mentor, it could be your parents, it could be an aunt or an uncle, it could be your teacher at school, it could be a social worker, your therapist, whatever. Whoever those people are, the people that are being honest with you about yourself, that are honest with themselves as well, and that are cheering for you when you're on the best path, those are people to keep around you, for sure. And if you don't have those kind of people, get comfortable with being with yourself. That's always a good thing. Enjoying your own company is always a good thing. Alrighty, well, that is the bulk of what I have. I hope you take some time to reset and review and reassess and move forward in a loving way. Make sure that this process is always a loving and kind process. You don't need to beat yourself up. Honest with yourself, but you don't need to beat yourself up. You can do whatever you put your mind to. Just make sure that it is beneficial to you and to those around you. That's another indicator. Is the choice that you're making going to be beneficial? And is it going to trickle out from your life into the world and leave a positive impact out there? We got plenty of negative stuff. We only want to add to the good, right? Alrighty. Thanks for stopping in. It is Mother's Day weekend. So for all of you that nurture, all of you women that nurture, love, support, brava, whether you have children or not. Brava. Alrighty. Have a blessed day. Ciao.